Who are you looking forward to matching up against?
Everybody, honestly. I'm just so excited to compete.
Paige Bueckers, she ain't gonna be Caitlin Clark. Not now, not today, not ever. Sorry, it ain't gonna happen.
Why hasn't Middle America given Paige Bueckers the Caitlin Clark treatment?
Well, the ratings are out. How much Paige Bueckers is moving the needle? There's already statistical evidence. No, she is not moving the needle in women's sports or women's basketball nearly to the effect of Caitlin Clark.
Paige Bueckers has had one of the best careers in the history of women's college basketball. And looking at these ratings for the women's tournament, it is abundantly clear Paige Bueckers might be a star, but she's not a draw.
Paige Bueckers made headlines for one reason. She wants Caitlin Clark-level treatment.
Caitlin Clark really did get the rookie treatment during her early months with the Fever. She got absolute racist, sexist treatment and abuse. That wasn't rookie treatment they gave her.
But here's the problem. She's not Caitlin Clark, and she never will be.
The light that I have now as a white woman who leads a black-led sport and celebrated here, I want to show a light on black women. They don't get the media coverage that they deserve.
Paige Bueckers, racially confused, speaks like a lot of your friends do. I always told guys, why do you guys speak different when you're talking to an African-American person? Paige Bueckers is that girl. A little racially confused, sexual orientation to be determined, but Caitlin Clark was not.
Paige Bueckers made headlines because she wants to be treated on par with Caitlin Clark.
And a lot of people are saying, oh, everything is she was Caitlin before Caitlin, she's better than Caitlin, all this stuff. That kind of stopped in the media. Caitlin Clark put up better numbers in the WNBA than Paige did in college.
However, the issue is that she is not and never will be Caitlin Clark.
Paige Bueckers is coming in, and she's going to be a driving force.
Clark is going against Paige and Dejanay. ESPN today, when they were talking about Paige, one of them says, I think Paige will be a good player this year, but I'm not expecting a Caitlin-like impact, and that's an unfair bar to set. Dallas Wings using the promo poster of Paige Bueckers and Caitlin Clark to hype that game up.
Although Bueckers is entering the WNBA with the expectation of following in her footsteps, she isn't receiving the standing ovation, sold-out arenas, or State Farm and Nike deals. This is because she hasn't earned them through her stats, influence, or star power.
Ladies of the WNBA are racist, sexist, and insecure, and they can't stand, for whatever the reason, that Caitlin Clark has a better game than they've ever had, any of them, even the white lady.
Paige has been busy giving speeches and playing the victim while Caitlin Clark has been shattering records, ratings, and barriers.
Caitlin Clark was clearly heterosexual, handled herself with grace, just balled out and competitive as hell between the lines, but very nice, subdued, and hung out with her boyfriend off the court. That is a formula for disaster with the angry lesbians of the WNBA, particularly when you're Caitlin Clark and you dominate the scene, you dominate the ads, you dominate being on television and everything about television.
And now she's asking for the same respect as the lady who brought women's basketball back to life on her own. That's not only disrespectful, it's insane.
2025 WNBA draft average 1.5, the second highest ratings ever. So its peak was 1 million viewers less than the average for the Caitlin Clark experience. The viewership literally got cut in half. Hell of a lot of people said, Caitlin Clark's gone, I'm gonna do something else with my day. And of course, last year, Caitlin Clark came out. The WNBA saw its far and away biggest rating ever for the WNBA draft.
No matter how strongly the media portrays it or how loudly the woke crowd cries, we're going to explain in this video why Paige cannot be Caitlin Clark. If you're a true Caitlin fan, please type CC 100% in the comments section right now so we can reveal to the world who controls this game.
She is the chosen one, as they say. That may not be the case for Bueckers. For those of you wondering if Paige's acceptance into the WNBA will be different than Caitlin, delusional fan base that follows Caitlin Clark disrespected the WNBA players by saying she's going to go into that league and tear it apart.
Let's begin with the harsh reality. In addition to being the top scorer, Caitlin Clark is the only player in college basketball history to have multiple 40-point triple-doubles. She also averages over 8 assists per game, drops 30 points like it's nothing, and does it all with shooting range comparable to that of Stephen Curry and court vision akin to Magic Johnson's. She is a supernova, the kind of generational talent that only comes around once in a lifetime.
The Caitlin Clark effect is real. There's evidence of that in college women's basketball ratings, and there's evidence of that now in the 2025 WNBA draft on ESPN delivered the second most viewed WNBA draft ever, averaging 1.25 million viewers. The spin is real from the media.
And let's talk about fan draw.
Now, let's compare that to Paige Bueckers. Sure, Paige had a great rookie season, but ever since, she has struggled to sustain that early momentum due to injuries, inconsistent play, and lackluster performances. She hasn't performed at the same level, not even close. She has barely scored 20 points per game on a regular basis, and her assist totals are at best mediocre.
Bueckers ain't Caitlin Clark and will never be on the court. ESPN continuing their Caitlin Clark erasure agenda
during pivotal moments when Caitlin excels and motivates her group. Come on. We're expected to think that Paige gets the same attention even though she disappears into the background.
That would not stop media spin. We knew this would happen.
Additionally, let's discuss fan attraction. When Caitlin Clark plays, her games break viewership records across college basketball, frequently surpassing NBA games in terms of ratings and broadcasts on ESPN, Fox Sports, and all major networks. This is because Caitlin Clark guarantees eyeballs, which is why the WNBA had its highest draft ratings ever. Her presence in a gym sells out arenas, raises resale ticket prices, and sends social media into a frenzy. Her highlights become viral, and her name appears on weekly trends. That's impact, not hype.
Overall pick of the WNBA draft, Paige Bueckers. Will she receive the Caitlin Clark? I don't know.
While this was going on, Paige Bueckers entered the WNBA draft with all the publicity ESPN could manage, and as a result, ratings fell.
Caitlin Clark got beat up last year because Caitlin Clark was everything the women who she stood on the shoulders of weren't. She was a nice, straight girl that balled hard, had a different game, and it pissed everybody off, including the little gals on ESPN.
It's not a coincidence that the 2025 WNBA draft attracted half as many viewers as Caitlin's draft half. Rather, reality is striking the media narrative in the face.
She got sexist, racist treatment from sexist, racist women.
Let's be clear, this is about outcomes, performance, and influence stats, not identity politics, activism, or who delivered the greatest SB speech. Fans aren't buying what ESPN is selling. They're here for Caitlin.
McNuts and the Chimmies of the world and all the other clowns at ESPN that have tried to paint Caitlin Clark as popular for one reason, and that being a white girl.
A well-planned media campaign is not necessary for Caitlin Clark to shine. Her game accomplishes that on its own. Fans of all races, ages, and backgrounds go to see her play. She is the star, not trying to take center stage.
We want to see Caitlin Clark, and we want to see Paige Bueckers.
Caitlin scored more points per game, but Paige was more efficient.
Although Paige Bueckers may desire Caitlin Clark's treatment, the unpleasant reality is that popularity is earned rather than given. Caitlin Clark's name is inscribed on dominance, which is how Caitlin Clark achieved her degree of recognition.
Paige Bueckers is woke as hell. She's gonna come into the league and join the WNBA activism. She's probably not gonna be embraced over that because we are sick of it.
The light that I have now as a white woman who leads a black-led sport and celebrated here, I want to show a light on black women. They don't get the media coverage that they deserve. They've given so much to the sport and the community and society as a whole, and their value is undeniable. The WNBA last season, the postseason awards, 80% of the winners were black, but they got half of the coverage as the white athletes. So I think it's time for change. Sports media holds the key to storylines. Sports media and sponsors tell us who is valuable, and you have told the world that I matter today, and everyone who voted, thank you. But I think we should use this power together to also celebrate black women.
Don't you realize these black girls all paved the road that she's traveling, that these black women built the WNBA, that these black women carried women's basketball, and now all the racists love women's basketball because they're racist and they have Caitlin Clark. Just not true.
And as long as she comes in the league and she joins the likes of DeJounte Carrington and all these others that are always promoting some kind of activism, she's not going to know. Why? Because sports fans want to watch damn sport.
Let's not mince words. Paige Bueckers is being forced into a limelight that isn't hers by the media, and social media mouthpieces and legacy sites are frantically trying to make her the next Caitlin Clark.
They see a little white girl, straight girl, and they crush her. They don't understand that her game is just different.
They are afraid that one white, straight girl from the Midwest has taken over the sport without fulfilling their political agenda, not because she has earned it on the court.
And Thomas contrast how white Americans view the two based on stark differences in speaking out against racial injustice. Quote, perhaps it's because, unlike Clark, Bueckers has always been outspoken about issues off the court, Thomas wrote in a Guardian article. At the 2021 ESPYs, Bueckers was named the College Athlete of the Year. She used her acceptance speech to celebrate and honor black women in particular. In Bueckers' famous ESPYs speech, she used her platform to recognize those who didn't get the same recognition as her, specifically highlighting black women. While black America cheered Bueckers, it seemed like mainstream white America, a demographic once viewed her as, in her words, a media darling, weren't singling out her praises. Is it a coincidence, or maybe because her injuries have made people forget her greatness as an athlete? But she's back from injury, and now why aren't people focused on Bueckers as they were Clark last year when she was tearing up college basketball? Maybe if Bueckers had delivered a more vanilla ESPY speech, things would be different. This is a completely embarrassing article. Caitlin Clark is a worldwide phenomenon whose playing style has drawn a level of hype that hasn't been seen in basketball in a decade.
We should go back in time. After a record-breaking collegiate career that saw her pack arenas every night and already have companies like Nike and State Farm lining up for multi-million-dollar deals, Caitlin Clark entered the WNBA not just with buzz, but with history.
I'm looking forward to seeing Caitlin Clark play. That are mad she's on national TV. They're going to brutalize her.
She didn't talk activism. She didn't tell sob stories. She didn't try to make political points. She just ball-bled. And yet what did she get in return? She was attacked, slammed, taken out with flagrant fouls, ridiculed by talking heads like Monica McNutt, and accused of receiving attention simply for being white. Suddenly, basketball wasn't about who played better, but rather about who is more socially conscious. And because Caitlin Clark didn't focus on politics, the vultures came for her. Booers, Paige.
Yo, man, we should be talking about her the way we talked about Caitlin Clark last year.
People will hate Caitlin Clark for any reason and make it about race.
We got Caitlin, we got Paige, we got Juju. Who do you think will shine the brightest?
Well, that's exactly why I'm not picking Caitlin Clark.
The media is attempting to portray her as the right version of Caitlin Clark because she is woke, uses award speeches to educate the world about racial injustice, and openly positions herself as a voice for black women, even though she isn't always the best player on her own team. Her identity politics are allowed at times, and her gameplay is less so, but the media loves it because it fits their narrative because they can use her to undermine the woman who is truly changing the sport. This is a manufactured rivalry that isn't driven by fans. It's driven by legacy media, who can't bear the fact that Caitlin Clark became the face of women's basketball without their assistance, without catering to them, and even when attempts to demand equal attention fail.
Caitlin Clark is the GOAT!
She signed my jersey! So happy, I'm crying. I'm so happy. This is the best day ever.
Caitlin Clark effect seems to be crazier than year one.
I love watching her score and just everything about her.
They went the extra mile just to watch her play here.
This is great news for women's basketball, period.
She just brings so much passion to the game, and look at all these people that just want to come and see her.
It is no secret that the Indiana Fever are the most popular team in the WNBA. It is good for the entire WNBA.
They will claim that Paige had a better career on paper, ignoring the fact that she missed the most significant events in women's basketball history due to injuries. They will also claim that Paige is more efficient, but they will never mention how her raw dominance in volume leadership and game impact blows those efficiency numbers out of the water. Furthermore, let's not forget that Paige is not being attacked in the same way that she is. She is not being elbowed in the face, her teammates are not being frozen out, and veteran players are not questioning her presence in the league because Paige is playing the game they enjoy, not the sport, but the social game. And yet, despite all the protection, stories, and media favoritism, she isn't attracting fans or making a difference.
If I was the WNBA, I would have considered a separate television package to a network on just Caitlin Clark games. I would have had two packages, the WNBA package, and then a separate, let's say, 15 to 18 game Caitlin Clark package.
Greatness cannot be created. No identity politics, no speech, and no media pressure can turn someone become Caitlin Clark. When you compare Caitlin Clark to Paige Bueckers, the difference between them becomes evident. We're not talking inches, we're talking miles. Let's start with TV ratings, because if Paige Bueckers wants to treat Caitlin Clark badly, she had better start dragging Caitlin Clark numbers. The media attempted to build Paige Bueckers' empire on the basis of comparison and culture wars, but fans aren't buying it.
366,000. A new record for a female athlete. Caitlin is the needle. Smashed the old record held by Serena by $100,000.
Who's going to be the next face of the NBA? We don't get to decide that. The marketplace decides that. The people have chosen Caitlin Clark. They enjoy watching her play, her style, her energy, her shot. Whether it's because her game mirrors one of the greatest players in the NBA in Steph Curry or not, I don't know what it is. It's an intangible thing, right? Yes, we can say she's a dog. Okay, there's been other dogs. Okay, she's a great shooter. There's been other great shooters. She has it. She's got the thing.
And for Caitlin Clark to have the awareness to drive the eyeballs there, you have to give her so much credit.
Caitlin brought a movement with her when she entered the WNBA draft in 2024, which saw an average of 2.5 million viewers and a peak of over 3 million. Fast forward to 2025, when Paige Bueckers took the stage and the ratings were cut in half, with only 1.25 million watching and a peak of just 1.4 million, a historic decline.
She is not only the needle mover, she is the needle, but at this point, it's pretty clear Caitlin Clark is driving the bus and driving the sales.
Fans saw through ESPN's attempt to portray it as a victory. You can't fabricate momentum or magnetism. The results showed that Caitlin Clark was the reason viewers tuned in.
Caitlin Clark has taken women's college basketball by storm. It's because she's white, and all of her fans are white, and they're all racist.
I'm looking forward to seeing Caitlin Clark play. That are mad she's on national TV. They're going to brutalize her again.
Let's now discuss game attendance. When Clark performs, arenas sell out and resale ticket prices soar, often reaching hundreds or even thousands of dollars just to see her live. Attendance at her Fever Road games peaks at about 87%. When you consider that one player increased attendance by more than 2.5 times, it's a seismic shift. Now look at Paige. Where's the surge? Where's the fire? And where are the fans lining up hours before tip-off? They're not, because, while Caitlin Clark is selling out stadiums, Paige Bueckers is struggling to trend. Her rookie debut caused a 200% increase in WNBA viewership. Indiana's home games drew a league-best 186,000 fans, up 265% from the previous season. In addition to social media and endorsements, her highlight reels aren't overflowing timelines, and more significantly, nobody is pulling out their dollars to watch her perform. Every platform is dominated by Caitlin Clark. Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, YouTube, millions of people watch her highlight videos.
They like Caitlin Clark because she's not a victim, because she doesn't seem to be angry. And so they find her relatable. She's not playing with anger. She's not playing with a sense of entitlement. And yes, people find that relatable. She shoots logo threes, passes the ball like Magic Johnson, scores a lot of points, leads the league in assists. She's a great, great player, and she plays and shoots and releases the ball like Steph Curry. So there's the attraction to the exciting style of play.
Paige Bueckers, meanwhile, is still trapped in Caitlin's shadow and is attempting to turn activism into airtime and speeches into sponsorships. However, Caitlin Clark is in a league of her own. So to everyone pushing the Paige agenda, stop pretending that statistics don't matter. Stop trying to rewrite the rules just because your favorite didn't win. Stop pretending that the numbers are clear. Stop pretending that the fans have spoken, and stop trying to change the rules because Caitlin Clark is writing history. If you're riding with Caitlin, if you're sick of the spin, drop a 100% in the comments right now, and let's show the world who the true face of women's basketball is. There is only one Caitlin Clark, and she's just getting started.